Our upper body power lift is the push press. Throughout this video, we're just going to provide a brief description of the lifting mechanics for the lift, the primary muscles involved, and the purpose of the exercise for a wide receiver in football. Alright, so I am going to be explaining the starting position for the push press exercise. So as demonstrated in this video, I am outside of a rack. In order to get the barbell onto my anterior shoulders and my clavicles so I can begin the reps, I just performed a power clean or a hand clean by extending my hips and my knees in a powerful manner. Normally, this exercise would be performed by unracking the barbell from a rack by extending at your knees and your hips while placing it on your anterior shoulder and your clavicles. But that equipment was not available during the recording of this video, so a hang clean or a power clean in order to maneuver the barbell onto your shoulders and your clavicles is a great alternative. For the preparation phase, the athlete should be focusing on a dip maneuver by flexing the hips and knees at a controlled speed to move the bar in a straight path downward. Then continue the dip to a depth not to exceed a quarter squat, the catch position of the power clean, or 10% of the athlete's height. Keep the feet flat on the floor, torso erect, and the elbows underneath or slightly ahead of the bar. For the upward movement phase, we are going to be focusing on the drive. So for the drive, you're going to immediately reach the lowest position of the dip, reverse the movement by forcibly and quickly extending the hips, knees, and ankles, and then the elbows to move the bar overhead, as I am demonstrating in this picture. Now we're going to be moving into the catch for the push press. So after the hips and knees are fully extended and the bar is overhead from the drive phase, press it up the rest of the way until the elbows are fully extended. In this position, the torso is erect, the head is in a neutral position, and the feet are flat on the floor, and the bar is slightly over or behind the ears. For the downward movement phase, we're going to be focusing on descending the barbell in a controlled manner down to the anterior shoulders and simultaneously flexing the hips and the knees to cushion the impact of the bar on the shoulders. Depending on if you have a rack or not, you're going to re-rack it by extending at the knees and your hips, or descending at your hips and knees and placing it down on the ground in a deadlift position. The push press is a highly coordinated exercise that challenges coordination, power, and strength. This exercise is very important because it requires upper and lower extremities to move at high speeds, similar to how many roles of the wide receivers in football are. The main muscle groups involved are the gluteus maximus, hamstrings, quadriceps, soleus gastrocnemius, deltoids, and trapezius.
One common form deficit that a lot of athletes make when performing this exercise is forgetting to flex slightly at the knees and the hips during the counter movement in order to perform the drive up top while flexing the shoulders and extending the elbows. To cue the athlete to properly perform this dip, the athlete should be told to settle in an extended position of the knees and hips once they have descended the barbell towards their anterior shoulders. Finally, in this position, the athlete can be cued to take a second and have a slight pause in this position in order to gather themselves to properly flex at the hips and the knees to initiate the dip into the push press.